We start with something that is helpful because support for the show today comes from ZBiotics. I've got to tell you about this game changer that I use before a night out with friends. It is called pre-alcohol. It is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic made by PhD scientists to help you wake up feeling fresh the next day. Now, here's how it works. When you drink, your body creates a toxic byproduct that's the real reason you feel rough in the morning. It's not dehydration. That is a myth. So ZBiotics helps break that byproduct down before it can mess with you. I first tried it before a friend's dinner party, birthday dinner, had a couple of my favorite drinks, and I woke up the next morning. I was ready to do the show, hosted the show with no problem. That never used to happen. So make the most of every toast, every tailgate and celebration this holiday season. Just don't forget your ZBiotics. Go to zbiotics.com/lemon and get 15% off of your first order with the code LEMON. It is backed by a 100% money back guarantee. So there is nothing to lose except rough mornings.
Good evening, everybody. Look, Don Lemon is on time. It's not CP time. Welcome to Lemon Live at 5. Thank you so much. I hope you have whatever it is that you are drinking. This is a Lemon Live at 5 mug that has tea in it because last night was a banger, wasn't it? I needed that ZBiotics, and I'm sure a lot of you did too. So welcome. Let me know where you are. I'd love to see the lemons coming in on the chat, the lemon emojis. Hi, Lemon Nation. How are you feeling today? I hope you're feeling good because there's reason to believe that this may be the beginning of the end of the tyranny that we are under, okay? So please do hit the likes. Please hit the thumbs up. It affects the algorithm. It's really important for us independents out here who are trying to make a difference, as we always say, on these independent streets. So thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get the color, the exact color that I want. There we go. So we really appreciate you doing this, okay? So hit the like, hit the thumbs up, and it does affect the algorithm and more people become aware of our channel. So last night, the people spoke, right? And if you were you listening closely? If you were listening closely, you know how the old folks used to do, right? They'd listen to the ground. You know why they did that, right? Because of the horses. You could hear the rumble. You could feel the ground move last night. Move a little. Especially if you were here in New York, they were celebrating until late into the night. But all across this country, from New York City to Virginia, from New Jersey to California, voters stood up and they said, you know what? I've had enough. Enough already is what they said. They're over all of the madness, all of the craziness. Voters stood up and said, we're done with this. They came out in the cold. They came out in the middle of, no matter what the weather conditions were. And also remember, in the middle of a government shutdown, when, the cynics, or if you're a cynic, you were saying, nobody cares anymore. And they said, you know what? We're still here and we care. And I was heartened by it. Did you see all the lines? And did you see the people who voted? Did you see the demographics, the ethnicity of the people who voted? Telling, there's more of us than there are of them. We are still watching, they said. We're still fighting for what is right. So Democrats didn't just win. They reminded America who really runs this country. It's not the billionaires that run this country. Look, they have a huge influence. Don't get me wrong. The oligarchs, the billionaires. But for sure, it's not the talking heads. It's not the people who hide behind gates and armed guards. It is the teachers, it's the nurses, it's the construction workers, the students who still believe in the promise of this place. I got out today and talked to so many people. It was so great to get out and speak to people and just go interview them. It's a lot. It was a lot, but a lot in a good way. So those people that I mentioned, the billionaires and the talking heads and the politicians and whatever, they would like you to believe that they are running things, but you are running things. I've been telling you that. And your money is their money. If you don't give your money and your attention to them, then, keep it for yourself. And then they don't have such an outsized influence in the culture in America. So you can feel it and you can see it. The people have found their voice again. And I told you guys, if there's momentum, if anything, this no kings thing, it was momentum into people and an awareness that people have an autonomy and strength and agency that they're not aware of, that maybe they had forgotten that they even had. And the other side, which is the Republican side, the Republican Party, the MAGA folks that once bragged about being unbeatable, right? They're rattled. I'm telling you, they're scared, or as we say, scared. They really are. They're sweating through their smiles. They're pretending that everything is just fine. They're like talking tough on cable news. This, oh my gosh, this is just one race. This is a local. But deep down, they know exactly what is happening. Their old formula, which is fear, chaos, outrage, right? The whole Donald Trump thing, deflection, lies, create, something that is outrageous, and then people will focus on that. It doesn't hit the same anymore. People are tired of being scared. They're tired of being divided. They are tired of being used as props in someone else's power trip. So look at how they're behaving today, right? Like I said, they're trying to laugh it off. They're saying that these are just local races, acting like it's business as usual. But you can tell by how fast that they are spinning that they are nervous. The faster and bigger the spin, the more nervous they are. They saw the numbers. They see the numbers. They see who showed up. They see energy in places that they thought were dead, right? And they're worried. This strategy that Donald Trump has used, I have half a mind, and I said it this morning, to continue to say, you know what, keep doing it. I don't want people arrested without due process. I don't want people beaten up. But, I'm just saying, figure speech. You keep doing it. You're a bad policy and you're bad, because then you ensure the victory of someone other than yourselves in 2026 and 2028. If you don't understand that people are sick of you pulling people out of cars, out of carpool lines, out of their jobs, wherever, from courtrooms, and just treating them like shit, inhumane. People are sick of it. And so these people are worried because the one thing they can't control is people waking up. The people have awakened. What happened last night wasn't about partisanship. It was about people remembering that they still have power right now. It was about communities that have been written off, saying, not this time. It was about decency that politicians keep underestimating, finally pushing back. So think about it. Think about the backdrop, okay? A Republican-led government shutdown, families that are missing paychecks, veterans unsure if their benefits will come through, federal workers wondering how to pay rent, all while politicians go on TV and they point fingers at each other. And then they yell at each other on panels and they talk down to people. And then let's get to the images, because this is the image. These are the images of the Trump administration. This is what people think about when they think about Donald Trump's MAGA administration. They think about masked men dragging people off the streets without charges, ordinary citizens being treated like criminals. It's the kind of thing that you see in authoritarian countries, not here in the United States of America. A gentleman this morning, so much, said that to me. He goes, well, they do it everywhere else. And I said, I was on live. I said, they're not supposed to do it in America, though. That's not what America is about. He said he came from a place where his religion, he said he was Muslim, and you follow whatever the leader says. And I was like, okay, mister. That's what people saw when they walked into those polling places. They recalled all those images. I'm sure they thought about the East Wing of the White House. They thought about the parties that Donald Trump was having for Halloween while they weren't getting their benefits, or their neighbors were hurting, or their neighbors are being picked up off the street. That's what they're voting against. They weren't just saying no to one party. They were saying no to fear. They were saying no to cruelty. They were saying no to government by tantrum, which is what Donald Trump is. And they were saying yes to something that is better, which is fairness, which is decency. They were saying yes to a government that actually works for them instead of against them. I mean, that's what Zohran Mamdani said right here in New York. It's time to put the people first. His win wasn't just historic, it was personal. A brown Muslim man, working class son of immigrants, who didn't wait for permission to lead. He ran on empathy. He ran on housing, on justice, on treating people like human beings again. And you know what? This a city that is usually run by the rich people or political dynasties, oligarchs, people with big names who can funnel, people who can get a lot of money funneled into their campaigns. But guess what? To decency and humanity, the city said yes. It said yes to courage. It said yes to community. It said yes to the idea that someone who looks like you, who fights for you, belongs in power. That's what scares them the most, I believe. And then there's Virginia, where voters rejected the culture wars. They said, stop talking about book bans and bathrooms. Like, what are you talking about? What's her name? Sears. What are you talking about? Book bans and discriminating against gay people and and deciding about bathrooms. It's like, Winsome Sears, come on, lady. And now the person who won, they started talking about jobs and schools, and that's what won. And then in New Jersey, you know, the folks in New Jersey shrugged off the noise and they said, we want real leadership. We don't want reality TV politics. We don't need someone who is screaming at people or, you know, is so energetic that bouncing off this. We want a pragmatic politician who cares about us. And then across the country in California, people stood up for fairness in redistricting because they know democracy only works when everyone gets a real shot at representation. Everywhere you looked, pattern was the same. The people are awake. And I know the right wing doesn't like that because basically we're saying people are woke. I know how you hate that term. People are aware, and you, by some odd, ironic something, I don't even know how to qualify it. You have awakened the people. You've made the people finally understand the real meaning of woke. Is when you can see through the bullshit and you can be aware of what's happening around you and how it influences politics, culture, justice, freedom, economics, jobs, all of it. And that's what's got the GOP shook. Because for years, they have relied on folks checking out. They have relied on fatigue. They did it in 2024, apathy. They've relied on us thinking that nothing ever changes. But last night proved that people still believe their vote matters. Today and tonight, Republican strategists are holding quiet meetings. Donors are making nervous calls. Hey, well, what are you going to do about this? You know, I mean, it's Trump. Does he know what's happening with why are they pulling people off the streets? All of these, this is real bad for America. The people don't like it. I think it's a game. You know that's what they're doing. What do we do? Should what do we have to rejigger? What do we do? Their media allies are already trying to spin this as no big deal. They know better. You can see it in the tone. You can feel it in the cracks. They know the American conscience is still alive. They tried to bury it. They tried to bury it under fear, under lies, under chaos, but it is still here. This wasn't some miracle. It wasn't luck. It was people organizing, people working, people believing again. It was communities putting years of effort just for a chance to be heard. And today, all of that work finally paid off. You got to play the long game. So for once in recent history, the Democrats were playing the long game, and then so play the long game, Democrats into the midterms, and then play the long game into 2028. Get behind people. Nobody's perfect. Who cares if they've said or done whatever? Like, you know, you should look at Mamdani. Oh, everybody's accusing him of, he said this, he said that. The Democrats are like, we don't care about that shit. Like, just, can we move on? That's what you need to do, Democrats. For the people who stand up for you, your loudest voices, support them. Don't cancel them. The same folks who mocked empathy are realizing that it is the one thing that they can't fight, because empathy, real empathy, isn't weakness, it's strength. It's connection. It's the thing that holds a country together when politics tries to tear it apart. And that's exactly what we saw last night. A country trying to hold itself together because fear only lasts so long. Fear has an expiration date. You can scare people for a season. You can lie to them for a while. But eventually, the truth gets through. And when it does, people move. And that's what happened last night. People moved. And now the same politicians who call themselves patriots are panicking because their own voters are starting to see the game. And they're realizing that the people who claim to love America the most are the same ones who are trying to shut it down. We're back with some incredible guests. 2 minutes, a word from our sponsors.
You know, we've all tried those fad diets, the juice cleanses, the cabbage soup fasting, and sure, the weight comes off and then it comes right back. Now, I've done it myself and I didn't realize that yo-yoing, that's what it's called, it can actually hurt you. Doctors call it weight cycling and it can raise your risk of diabetes and heart disease. That's why I started looking for something sustainable, not a fad, not a shot, but science. Lean is a doctor-created non-prescription supplement that helps regulate blood sugar, it controls cravings, and it can convert fat into energy. Now, I have been adding it to my morning routine and it really does help curb the mid-afternoon snack urge. So if you want to lose weight in a healthy, consistent way and keep it off, go to takelean.com and use the code LEMON for 20% off of your first order. That's TAKELEAN.com and use the code LEMON. Support for the show today is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know, those shorter fall days can really get to you. Darker evenings, busier schedules. It's easy to start feeling isolated, and I've been there myself, especially after long work days when it feels like there's no time to really connect. That's why I think therapy is such a powerful tool. BetterHelp makes it easy to start, okay? You fill out a short questionnaire, they match you with one of over 30,000 licensed therapists, and you can message or meet by video right from your home. And if the first one doesn't match, if it's not a match, not quite right, you can switch at any time. No extra cost at all. This month, don't wait to reach out. Check in on a friend or check in on yourself with BetterHelp. Get 10% off of your first month at betterhelp.com/DonLemon. That's betterhelp.com/DonLemon.
Look, God, I can use some help. And I need to check in on some of my friends right now. I want to check in with Jennifer Welch, the host of the I've Had It podcast and the author of Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. Now that is the name of a book. Reecie Colbert is here as a political commentator, best-selling author, and a host on Sirius XM Urban View. Clay Kane, a New York Times best-selling author and host of Sirius XM Urban View as well. And his new book is Burn Down Master's House, right?
Burn Down Master's House drops January 27th. Yes.
All right, there you go. And Jolly Good Ginger is going to be on in a little bit with the Jolly Good Ginger YouTube channel and a Washington correspondent for the Don Lemon Show. Good evening, one and all. How are you guys?
Hey, y'all.
Hi,
nice
everyone.
to meet you, Jennifer.
Nice to meet you.
Before.
Nice to meet you both.
Oh my gosh! Wait, who has the biggest Southern accent? Is it Jen or is it Reecie? Hey, y'all.
You think I have a Southern accent?
The way you said, "Hey, y'all."
Cali. I'm Cali all day.
Jen, you were at the big watch party last night. Take us there.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we get there. I went with Professor Ruth Ben-Ghiat. You'll probably know her. She's a historian expert on authoritarianism. And we get there and there's a line and we had the tickets, like you have to have a QR code to get in and there's a line wrapped around. Finally, we get in and you guys, I go to bed at like 9, pushing it. The party started at 9. So I really burned the midnight oil last night for democracy. I didn't get home until 1 a.m. But anyway, I made it in. And then you just see this excitement, the diversity of the crowd, the hope, the joy. It was just electric. And then they played the Andrew Cuomo concession speech. And, the crowd was kind of waving and, being sore winners, which is a part, that's a part of politics. And so that was fun, the shit talking there. And then, of course, Mamdani comes out. And number one, he has such a commanding presence. And what I liked about it is that He ran a campaign on kindness, on visibility, telling people in New York, I see you. I know you don't make much money, but you're valuable to me and I'm going to fight for you. And so he has this real empathetic message. But then he's also like, this is the last time I'm ever going to say the name Andrew Cuomo. And Donald Trump, turn up your hearing aid, motherfucker. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, but I was just like, oh, I love that he's still savage and nice at the same time, because that's what Democrats need to do. Like, you're goddamn right. You might not like us, tough titties. We're still going to fight for you to have health care. And he
Jen,
has
can
that.
Since you, I don't mean to cut you off, but since you
okay.
brought us to that moment, can I play this? Because
yes,
this was Van Jones on Mamdani's victory speech last night. Watch.
I think he missed an opportunity. I think the Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot warmer, who was a lot more embracing, was not present in that speech. And I think that Mamdani is the one you need to hear from tonight. There are a lot of people trying to figure out, can I get on this train with him or not?
oh my God.
Is he going to include me? Is he going to be more of a class warrior even in office? I think he missed a chance tonight to open up and bring more people into the tent. I think his tone was sharp. I think he was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling. And that's not the Mamdani that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and stuff like that. So I felt like there's a little bit of a character switch here, where the warm, open, embracing guy that's close to working people was not on stage tonight. And there was some other voice on stage. That said, he's very young, and he just pulled off something that's very, very difficult. And I wouldn't write him off, but I think he missed an opportunity to open himself up tonight, and I think that will probably cost him going.
Jen, you're the one. I cut you off.
For my New York Times bestseller. Never mind.
Here's the thing.
Jen.
I've met Van Jones when I was a guest on Abby Phillips' show. He is charming. He is lovely and as friendly as can be. And he got that right there dead wrong. And he is speaking to a group of people that need to have a permission structure to see Black and brown people, which is interesting because of the color of Van Jones' skin. So I feel kind of awkward talking about it as a white woman, but I think we all have to talk about this stuff. But to give the people at CNN, the country club Republicans sitting at home, a permission structure to think that Zoran's the boogeyman and that the burden falls on him, that he can't be kind and sharp at the same time, that he can't walk and chew gum. And by Van Jones' logic, Dawn, should Donald Trump, when he accepted his victory speech, should he have tried to give the microphone a blowjob like he did on the campaign trail? Should he have talked about the size of Arnold Palmer's cock? Why didn't he show that side of himself during his victory speech? The standard that people put people of color up to is so appalling, even by, sadly, a friend of mine, acquaintance, Van Jones, a Black man, then they never apply that to Kanks, which is what I call Donald Trump. He gets that motherfucker gets away with everything. It drives me crazy. Before I kick it to somebody else, I've got a bunch of my liberal pickleball best friends in Oklahoma sitting blue dots in a red state, logged on right here. You guys say hi to me in the chat. I love you, ladies, and I miss you. Okay, go on.
Hi, ladies. We love you, and we want to get to know you. And thank you for joining the Don Lemon Show. We have a lot of crossover between the Lemon Heads and the I've Had It. What do you call your what do you call your
we need to have a name.
We got to come up with
one.
We
do.
Yeah, look, I've known Van Jones for a long time, and Van is a friend. I have not spoken to him about this, but damn, Van, like, come on, man. They call this guy, basically they called him a jihad. You know what I mean?
Right.
An anti-Semite, all kinds of racist bullshit, Van. He said, I hope I never have to say his name again. Okay, I think Andrew Cuomo could take that, right? And I'm sure that he meant it. And he said, Donald Trump, turn the volume all the way up. Why does he have to make friends with Donald Trump and someone who, you know what I mean, who has also been pretty racist about him, calling him a socialist and a communist and all that shit? Go ahead. Who wants to go, Clay or Reecie?
Well, I just want to say, first of all, Jennifer is my kind of people. So we need to hang out sometime. I want to also say I'm just so happy I could still be a homosexual in New Jersey. I am very
homosexual.
A homosexual in New Jersey. I could still be it. You know, Don, I was afraid. I was concerned. I wasn't happy.
All right, so no, hold that thought. I want you to hold that thought. Seriously. And I'm not Kanye Taylor Swifting you. I do want you to, there's a reason I want you to hold that thought.
Okay. All
right. Okay. Go ahead. Oh, Jolly's here. Jolly, come on in. So Jolly, stand by. We're doing some talking. There's our Washington correspondent. Hi, Jolly. How are you? Good to see you. Okay. Reecie, your thoughts.
Look, you would think that Mom Dinah got up there and said, "We won, bitches. Go to hell, Trump. Suck it, Cuomo." He got up there. When you win, you get to pop your shit a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You got to be like, you told me they called that man everything but a child of Allah. Okay, so if he wanted to pop back a little bit, clap back, then he was entitled to do that. Look, the inauguration speeches where you have the let's kumbaya, let's all come together. You don't puff your chest out. You act all, conciliatory and diplomatic. But on victory night, on election night, on a blue wave night, where you have mollywopped the man who has impugned your character, who had everybody, including Donald Trump, up against you, then you are completely entitled to clap back just a little bit. And so, Van Jones, he just did what he did what he's there to do. He's there to slap you down, to be like, oh no, respectability politics. But Zoran did not win off of respectability politics. He won because he really spoke to the issues that resonated with people, not because he was docile and not because he was, this weak character. It was because he projected strength, but in a nice way, as Jennifer pointed out. So look, Van, just instead of being loud or wrong, just be quiet or wrong for a change.
Are you telling Van to have several seats?
Yes, have a whole bench of seats. Okay, there's a stadium full of seats, whatever. However you need to sit down, just sit down, just a little bit.
Yeah. Look, I don't know I understood what he was trying to say, right? And that, but you articulated it, I think, in the perfect way, Reecie. That's for an inauguration speech.
Yeah.
Now, when he said it, I was like, oh, that's some shade right there, right? But, they did call him everything, as you said, but a child of God or a child of Allah. The reason that I saved you, Clay, is because I wanted to play this moment. This is Clay yesterday on this program.
Yes. Here in Jersey, I'm concerned. Talk about candidate quality. I voted for Mikey Sherrill, but she hasn't run a very good campaign. She's struggling really bad with Black voters. I said it on my show. I tried to canvass for her last week. They had nowhere in my area to canvass. I see no signs in my area. I live in a predominantly Black and brown area. So I'm really concerned. And, we had Obama and Westmore down here. Governor Phil Murphy, the current governor, only won by 3 points. So I hope she can pull this off. But there's that. There's also...
Okay. All right. So you said that, and then Mikey Sherrill said this on TV this morning.
I don't think people get New Jersey, but I do. And I've run here. This is my 5th election. I've drawn out huge amounts of people over the years. I had the largest red to blue swing in 2018. So I knew exactly what I had to do. It starts with connecting with voters. I spoke to thousands of people on the ground from everywhere in the state. And then we built a juggernaut of a campaign, a huge organization, the likes of which.
We get it. Thank you very much for that. Well, I understood what you were saying, Clay. And you said that you hoped from the bottom of your heart that she won, but you didn't think she ran a very good campaign. So what do you say today?
I mean, listen, I live in New Jersey, been in Jersey City since 1998. I went to campaign at her office. There was nowhere to campaign. I had people in my neighborhood saying, where is she? We saw no signs in the area. But here's the thing. For a lot of Black and brown voters, we're about voting for harm reduction. We're about voting to make sure we can move freely about the cabin. And we don't live in a meritocracy. So just because she won doesn't mean that she ran an excellent campaign. I heard everything on the ground. There was articles, people that I know locally saying we're not seeing her. And maybe to some degree it was a wake-up call. We had Obama and Westmore come down. But for me, I was concerned, and I have a right to be concerned. If you go to canvass for somebody and they say we don't have anywhere for you to go, that was concerning for me. And it appeared to be that Mikey Sherrill was trying to appeal to the anti-Trump GOP voter. That's what it appeared to be. But like I said, hey, I hope from my soul she would win. I could not endure a Jack Ciattarelli campaign. It was very scary. And this whole day, I've had my Jersey playlist. I've been rocking my Bruce Springsteen, my Latifah, my Sarah Vaughan, my John Bon Jovi. Tommy used to work at the dock. Union's been on strike. So
you better put some Whitney in there.
Some Whitney. I dance with somebody right now. But I was
Dion.
Right, exactly. And listen, I hope that Democrats can learn that. Listen, it's a long game to try and keep this momentum. I think what really helped, sadly, in a way that it woke people up, is Jersey's been deeply impacted by this government shutdown. The ICE raids are terrifying. And what's funny is that her platform was very similar to Kamala Harris's platform. Very similar, right? And lastly, I'll say this. We've been talking about this great win for Democrats, but I want to point this out. Something has happened over the past year, whether it's you, Don, Jennifer, Reecie Colbert, myself, Jolly, there has been a rise in this kind of independent media. And we've talked about the infrastructure that right-wing independent media has. And I think there has been something really in the ether, whether people are letting go of cable news and they're looking for voices like ours. And I think that this independent rise in media, I think it's really helped to contribute to waking people up. Seeing Jennifer on the I've Had It podcast, Don, seeing you on the streets engaging people, which you said before you couldn't do that at the previous network. Reecie and I did an entire tour, sold out every single stop. There is something about, I think we are finally getting a left-wing media infrastructure that is crucial, whether it's Brian Tyler Cohen, whether it is Jim Acosta, whether it is Joyanne Reed. Of course, Roland Martin's been doing it for a long time. All of these folks out there, this helps to contribute to a win that we saw in last night. These things are really, really important. I think there's something there that we have to acknowledge, that even a year ago, it was a lot different. And so I feel like that's part of the reason why we saw the win.
Well, Clay, thank you very much for saying that, and I agree with you. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I thought you would want to explain. And what you saw and witnessed is legit, right?
Yeah,
and so, So, and speaking of independent media, people who are making the difference, there's Jolly. Jolly, you're down in D.C., near Virginia. You know what's going on. Do you live in Virginia or D.C.? Your mic isn't working, sir. I think you are muted. It's not working. Okay, we'll get Jolly back to work. My dog doesn't want anyway. I'm having dog issues. He wants to be right here, and then he's trying to get down at the same time. It's bizarre.
Well, can I say, Don? I think it might have helped me telling people, get your ass out and vote. And I said that 75 times yesterday, and I said it leading up to. So I'm gonna take a little bit of credit.
So, Jen, but now the real work starts. You know, for all of these candidates, and I believe that it should be the beginning of the 2026. Campaign and the 2028 campaign. And as I said in my opening monologue, I hope Democrats are playing the long game finally this time, so that they can go up against sort of what Clay said, the right-wing ecosystem in media, and of course, the right-wing MAGA politicians.
Yeah, I think to Clay's point, he has a really good point about the politicians have to get to work now, but we need to get to work on the politicians. And in the case of Mikey Sherrill, Clay is right. She ran a very centrist harm reduction campaign. She was very risk adverse. Prior, in the throes of running, she voted for that ridiculous stunt by MAGA Republicans in the House to honor Charlie Kirk. And that is a slap in the face to all Americans. It insulted me, but I can't only imagine what it would feel like to have black skin, because just because a racist is dead doesn't mean that racist needs to be honored. And so we have the leaders that we have. And I wanted Mikey Sherrill to win with everything in me, because I've lived in a red state with a MAGA supermajority, and I know how diabolical and dumb these fuckers are. And so it is super important that the Mikey Sherrills win. But now that she's in, she's the politician we have. So Clay and the people of New Jersey need to go to work on her while she goes to work, because it's our job in independent media to pull our politicians away from corporate, where they're beholden to corporation. And it's also our job for, like Clay, for example, to say, hey, we felt really neglected and we're looking to build a huge long-term coalition here. And we want to meet with you, because before you know it, you're going to be running again, Mikey. So let's build a bridge. We voted for you, but you're on, you're on watch right now. And so think about how far MAGA took the Republican Party, you guys. These fuckers used to be national security people, and now they text war plans and roll out the red carpet for Putin. So if they can do that to all those crotchety, crusty old Republicans, we can get a Democratic Party that is less beholden to corporation, that doesn't play patty cake with racists and vote to honor racists, and really have a party where people realize supporting your friends of color is not radical. Supporting universal child care is not radical. Not wanting people to file bankruptcy because they have cancer is not radical. It's called being empathetic. And while we're at it, we're not the fuck you, we're not the, oh, my feelings are hurt liberals anymore. We're the fuck you liberals. We're going to fight for your ass to have health care, and we're going to fight for your future little white darling one day is going to fall in love with a hot black man, and you're going to have a little mixed baby. We're going to fight for that little baby's rights while you're sitting there watching racist Fox News. We don't like you right now, and you don't like us, but our fight is where it needs to be. And so I think we have to move the leaders that we have. That's why I browbeat Hakeem all the time. That's why I browbeat Chuckles. That's why I got in a fight with Corey. But I still like all these guys. But we have to put the heat on them, because I agree with them on about 8 out of 10 issues. And so we still have to pressure them to become better leaders and to become a more inclusive party.
Dom, you better clock it, Jen. Hang on, but you better clock it, Jen. Jen, you also better clock it, because you got an appointment that you have to get to. Yes. We'll see. So Jen, we'll see you later. Thank you very much.
I love you guys.
Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
I love you. Hey, Jen, before you go, do you guys have the website real quick, Jen? Just give me 2 seconds. Do you have the website for the 18th of November? Jennifer and I, you guys all have to come. We will be at City Winery in New York City on November 18th. The doors open at 6. There it is. And the show starts at 7:30. We have some great guests. Anthony Scaramucci is going to be there with us, and we have some special guests as well. But it's going to be the Don and Jen show, or the Jen and Don show. I don't care where.
I have something really funny to share about this. So Don does a post about this, and I click collaborate on this post or whatever. Around the same time, I noticed my Instagram, I'm getting a lot of death threats. So I contact our producer and I'm like, hey, am I going viral in MAGA world? And she's like, oh yeah. You've got Tim Pool, you've got Fox News, you've got Glenn Beck. They're going fucking bananas. And so on that post, they think that I want to kill conservatives. That's how they've twisted something I've said, which I've never even shot a gun in my life. I'm like, you dipshits, liberals don't even have guns, but whatevs. And so anyway, the whole post on is just Jennifer Welch hate. Our whole post. It's hysterical how much they care about hating me.
Well, you go, girl. If they hate you, you're doing something right.
You're doing something right, right? That's a badge of honor. So, Jen, I'll see you soon. I'll see you obviously on the 18th. So come see us. Get your tickets. It's going to sell out. All right. So thank you, Jen. And we're back with Jolly and the rest after a word from our sponsors.
Support comes from Fatty 15. Look, listen to me here. Staying healthy as we age is something that I think about more and more these days. I've noticed that those little signs, lower energy, not sleeping quite as deeply, joints that take longer to warm up, that's why I was intrigued by Fatty 15. It is the first new essential fatty acid discovered in 90 years. It's C15. It's proven to strengthen cells and slow biological aging. The science actually started with dolphins, and now it is helping humans protect their cells, improve sleep, focus, and energy. So I have been taking it for a couple of months, and I've honestly felt the difference. Deep sleep, steadier energy throughout the day. It's vegan. It comes in a beautiful reusable glass bottle, and it ships straight to your door. You can get 15% off of your your 90-day starter kit at fatty15.com/lemon with the code LEMON. That's fatty, FATTY 15.com/lemon, and then use the code LEMON because healthier aging starts at the cellular level. Thanks to all of our sponsors.
Yes, and I'm trying everything to stay here longer and longer and to be as healthy as I can as possible. You know, it's like fish oil, except you remember the fish oil, and which is good for you. You still take it?
No, I ain't know.
Because it's good for you and it's good for digestion and all that and weight and all of that and sleeping. But that smell from the fish oil, you don't get that with a Fatty 15. That's all I'll say. And I'm not saying I'm not bringing Jolly in because of any of this, because Jolly is a very fit, handsome, beautiful man who is going to tell us what's happening in DC and Virginia. I mean, look, you guys had Winston Earl Sears up against Abigail Spanberger. And there's a whole lot of shit going on in Virginia.
Yes. Can you hear me now, Don?
Of course I can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm not fit. I just fit in my jeans. But I will say this. I saw earlier that Van Jones had an opinion. Nobody cares, bro. But okay. So Virginia, we had an amazing sweeping victories. We actually have a 40-year. In 40 years, it's the first time we've held this many Democratic seats in the House of Delegates. So it wasn't just that Abigail Spanberger won and Hashmi won and Jones won. It's that we literally cleared the seat. It was, I think, 13 or 14 Republican seats flipped. Shout out to my friend Jess Anderson. She won down in District 71. It's her second time running. She won this time. There's a lot of great people, Josh Cole, a lot of great people who are going to be in the House of Delegates doing good stuff. However, I agree with what Jen was saying at the end there, and it's something I made a video about this morning. I think the message to Democrats has to be, this is a blue NAMI. Yes, and it's going to be that way in 2026 as well. But the Democrats need to hear what we're saying when we're at the ballot. We're not just saying we're tired of Trump and the Republicans and what's happening in our country, because we are. We're also saying, do something. Don't just win because you're not Trump. Do something. Don't just hold the seat. Don't just be the moderate establishment Democrats that we're tired of fucking dealing with. Don't just be the status quo all over again. I'm going to tell you something about Abigail Spanberger. I'm glad she won. If it was Winston Sears, Virginia would be in a bad spot. Abigail Spanberger is a moderate establishment Democrat centrist. That's just facts. Sue me. And I promise you that Virginia is ready for a progressive leader. This idea that I keep hearing on the internet that Zohran Mamdani's campaign would have only worked in New York. Yes, you're right. Where I'm from, free busing wouldn't have been a good platform. We don't have fucking buses. But Zohran Mamdani, if he was living in my town, would have won. Because here's the thing about Zohran Mamdani that the establishment Democrats are not fucking understanding. This dumbass talking point that he wouldn't have won anywhere but New York. Do you realize that in Los Angeles to fucking Massachusetts to Mississippi, I seen a video this morning of a podunk hillbilly ass town in Mississippi celebrating Mamdani's victory in New York. I mean, people are pissed off they couldn't vote for him. It is a mayoral race that was celebrated from sea to shining sea. And here's why. Mamdani got on the ground and talked to the people and said, here's the problems in my city. So here's the platform we're going to put forward to solve the problems in my city. And people see, smell, and can feel authenticity. And he authentically wants to work with people to solve problems that face the people. So whether Mamdani was in any other city in the country, he would have fucking won, because he would have got on the street, he would have listened to the people, and he would have stood on business. Let me tell you who is not standing on business. Centrist establishment Democrats. So you need to wake the fuck up. Don't think that this is going to be a free give me election just because we're tired of Trump's bullshit. As soon as we're done getting Trump out of here and we're done triaging that problem, you establishment centrists are next. Either get progressive, stand on business, or get the fuck out of the way.
I guess he said what he said.
He said what he said. I mean, he did not stumble. But on business.
Yeah, well, listen, and I also want to talk about the Republicans too. Thank you, Jolly. I think that the Republicans, you guys have seen a lot of them are playing it off. right? This is not a big deal. It's local. Donald Trump, I don't know, vomited out on his social media that the Republicans had a bad night because Trump wasn't on the ballot and because of the government shutdown. Trump wasn't on the ballot, and shutdown were the two reasons that Republicans lost election tonight, according to pollsters. He'll do anything to insert himself into shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
I'm going to play this, Clay, and you'll be the first one to respond to it. This is a Republican. This is a pundit on Fox News talking about the Democrats' win last night and how Republicans lost.
Look, Democrats didn't just win in blue places. They broke the supermajority in the Mississippi state legislature. They flipped seats in Texas that had never even been competed recently. They, in parts of Virginia that are deep red, the average, I think, was 6 points towards Abigail Spanberger. In New Jersey, Mikey Sherrill got a bigger margin than Governor Murphy did a couple years ago. So it's not just that we won in blue places. Democrats won all over the country. And I think a few things are clear. Number one, when Donald Trump himself is not on the ballot, his ideas don't win. And all of these candidates, look, Mikey Sherrill, Abigail Spanberger, very different candidates than Zohran Mamdani. They are moderates. They worked in the national security field, but they talked about affordability. And Donald Trump himself even admitted the shutdown, the Republicans are getting blamed for it, and that they needed to talk more about affordability. Donald Trump properly diagnosed the problem. And so it's not just that we're winning in blue states.
Ooh, I wanted to see more of the faces of the people sitting there on the Fox News. Clay, you want to go?
Listen, let me tell you what was on the ballot. What was on the ballot was, what is it, $20 billion going to Argentina?
40.
$40 billion going to Argentina. What was on the ballot is this ridiculous ballroom being built and tearing down the East Wing. What was on the ballot is an insane government shutdown that's basically saying, let Democrats, let us take away your health care and we'll give you your quote unquote SNAP benefits. What was on the ballot is right now, children, veterans, disabled people not having access to their SNAP benefits, to food stamps, whatever the case may be. That's what was on the ballot. And Virginia, Jim Acosta and I called this last night. That was a disaster. That was a Republican blowout disaster. Winsome Earl Sears in Virginia did worse than Mark Robinson, the porn guy in North Carolina. And she brought down the entire—
Wasn't he the black Nazi?
Exactly. This 15 some points, this is complete devastation. They said, girl, bye. We don't want you, and we don't want the Attorney General. We don't want the House of Delegates. This was a complete, utter disaster. And
hey,
that—
Clay,
now,
she's done speaking.
She's done speaking. I'm speaking. Girl, they don't want to hear your point. They don't want to hear nothing. They're done with you. This was horrible. This was an epic. At least last year, when it came to Kamala Harris losing North Carolina, down ballot, Josh Stein still wins North Carolina as a governor. There were things down ballot that worked. Winsome Earl Sears brought down everything. So I think what we're seeing is this otherism and this selling of hate. They got to find a new remix. The trans issue didn't work this time around. The scary DEI issue didn't work this time around. So y'all got to find a way. Can y'all lean on policy? And right now, what is their fucking healthcare plan? What is their healthcare plan?
They don't have one.
They don't have one. They don't have anything. They run on hate. And although it breaks my heart that a year ago we had horrifically low voter turnout, but here we are now, a year literally from the last election, and people appear to be fed up. Let's keep this going. Let's keep on telling our truth. But Miss Winsome, girl, all that tap dancing.
She's done speaking. She's done speaking.
You know what? Discrimination. You're discrimination. You're mad that Obama didn't support you. NAACP didn't support you. Girl, your own party didn't support you. You didn't do well with the white vote in Virginia. How about that?
You know what else I think was on the ballot? And Jolly, you can attest to this because we've both been out there and seen it. We've seen it. Play this for me, Andy, please. This is a preschool, I believe.
Hey, Barron, my fuck ice flag.
And Andy, we can let it play with the sound low or whatever, but I mean, I think that was on the ballot last night too, and I think people are sick of seeing scenes like this. Reecie, Jolly.
No, 100%. Listen, I want to say this about Virginia really quick. Glenn Youngkin, our current governor, signed an executive order that required Virginia police to cooperate with ICE in Virginia. So one thing that we as the voters in Virginia are going to demand of Abigail Spanberger, so when she watches this clip, because she better, we're going to demand that you immediately rescind that executive order and that we end any cooperation with this Gestapo thug terrorist organization. Just because they're sponsored by the government doesn't make them any less of a terrorist organization than what they are. Slavery was once legal in this country. And before I pass the mic to Reecie, I also just want to say real quick.
Backwards and forwards. Thank you, Jolly. Go ahead, Reecie.
Jolly was looking for that flag share. He said, "Give me my fuck ice flag." You know what, Don? Though, to your point, listen. I said starting in 2023, when Roe v. Wade was overturned, and I said all throughout the election last year, and I said it again when I was talking about the New Jersey race and all of these gubernatorial races. Citizenship is on the ballot, and as much as people thought that they're taking the jabs and their rent was going up because immigrants were taking everything, they're seeing this administration is indiscriminately grabbing people off the streets. They are attacking, residents. They are attacking U.S. citizens. They are kidnapping U.S. citizens, in addition to people who they suspect of being undocumented. There's no due process. There's no justice, and they're militarizing our streets. And so I think that it was very foolish of people to think that there would be some sort of orderly immigration enforcement from this administration when they talked about how cruel they would be. But seeing it in real life and seeing the impacts of it, I think it did move the needle with people, which is good. They shouldn't have supported it from the beginning, but I think that people bit off more than they could chew with this immigration stuff. And Donald Trump has done nothing but double and quadruple down on it. When you have Cubans being shipped off to Africa, I don't think anybody had that. You know how far you have to go past Cuba to get all the way to Africa? Cuba is right there. You can put somebody on a raft and be like, "Here you go, you back home." But they shipped them to Africa. I don't think that people were anticipating all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, when Americans are being attacked, you have priests who are being attacked and all kind of stuff, children living in fear. That was too much. But I definitely appreciate Republicans getting mollywopped. I mean, it was like, what? I was like, damn. Jay Jones, a black man who threatened violence against a white man in a text message, still beat the hell out of his Republican incumbent opponent. I love the fact that Democrats have finally figured out, I don't give a damn about candidate quality. We need to get these Republicans packed up out of here. They cannot win. They cannot govern. We do not want them. It does not matter how attractive, how rhetorically talented people are. It don't even matter what they saying in their text messages. We are so anti-Trump. All of these Republicans have to go. Period.
But on that note, I'm 100,000% with Reecie on this. But Democrats need to know, just because we're tired of Republicans don't mean you get to come in and do that same tired, lazy white supremacy bullshit that got us here. That's what I want people to understand. Right. The status quo got us here. The cruelty is the point of ICE. Terrorizing these neighborhoods. You hit the nail on the head when you said terrorizing neighborhoods. I've been on the ground. Don, you were on the ground in these Chicago neighborhoods. I've been on the ground here in DC and other neighborhoods that are being terrorized by ICE. And the residents of these neighborhoods literally use that word. They're living in terror. All right. So first of all, I would rather deport MAGA, keep the immigrants. I want to make that clear. But the reason the reason that this is being allowed and the reason Trump is pushing it and the reason 1/3 of this country is ignorantly applauding as it happens is white supremacy. People are afraid to have this conversation. You need to have it, because when this is over, it's high time we hold the Confederacy responsible for the Civil War. Reconstruction led to ICE. I want to put that on a fucking shirt. So what us forgiving white people for their bigotry and their hate and their attacks on America, us forgiving white people for the shit they're doing right now. All right, go look at the votes last night. We're talking about all the wins. Look at all the people who voted for the fucking losers. 55% of white men in Virginia, where I live, voted for Winsome Sears. 55, actually, I think it was 56. So I'm the 34%, and all those fucking bigots can get the fuck out of my state. It's time that we kick these fucking, we ostracize these white community that can't let the Civil War go. Bro, slavery's over. You got to work for yourself. Crazy fucking idea. So you don't get to own other people. You can't be mad at black and brown people forever because you're mediocre. And we got to stop coddling them. This can't be the same thing that happened after we beat the Confederacy, where we let them back into our communities and try to mend the wounds. No, I'm pouring fucking lemons and salt on those wounds. Get them the fuck out of here. Ostracize this ideology. Or, Don, we're going to be having this same conversation in 10 years again.
That's true.
Right on. And look, don't forget though that the government is shut down. Don't forget that when a lot of people aren't getting a lot of information when it comes to what's happening with the shutdown. I say this every day, especially as it relates to healthcare. I went through this with a family member, especially as it relates. It's open enrollment now for health insurance. It's been open enrollment for Medicare for a while now. And you may think you have your Medicare and all that stuff. You don't know with all the changes, right? And with the Obamacare subsidies or whatever incentives, you just don't know what's going to happen. So we have a new health partner here that I want to show you guys. I want people at home, especially if you're 64 years older, to pay attention. And then we're back with some final statements. Here we go. I want to talk to you about something that really matters, especially if you are 64 years old or older. It's Medicare annual enrollment season. And this is a time to pay attention, everyone. I just went through it with my mom, and perhaps you have been there too, sitting at the kitchen table, buried in paperwork, trying to make sense of it all. Plans have changed. Some were even canceled. And get this, according to the Wall Street Journal, if you're not careful, you could end up paying more, even lose coverage for your doctor, for the doctor that you trust. So pay attention. That's why I am telling you about Chapter. Chapter is the Don Lemon Show Network's new health partner. They review every plan nationwide to find out what's best for you, not what makes them money. Their help is 100% free. It takes about 20 minutes. And on average, people save around $1,100 a year. So don't wait. Call Chapter at 212-931-0855 before December 7th and make sure you and your family are protected. I just want to make sure you and your family are protected. Reecie, Clay, I know that you guys are taking care of those, and especially the older folks in your family. Jolly, you're almost there, so you may need a little.
Yeah, I need to look into that, Don. Thanks.
How are you guys feeling about moving forward? I think this was all great last night, but now I'm with you guys. It's some work. The election begins now. And Jolly, you're right. I don't want to hear any mealy-mouthed Democrats. I don't want to hear any people who are afraid to speak up, afraid to talk, afraid to tell it like it is, who get on television and they hedge. Sometimes you just need to tell people to fuck off.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? Period. End of story. And you need to meet these Republican MAGA bastards with the same energy that they bring, right?
Yep.
And I love Michelle Obama, but when they go low, I'm going low too.
I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell.
She's retracted that, by the way. Michelle.
Oh, no, Michelle is like, why am I in it? I'm selling a fashion book. I ain't saying that was 8 years ago when I said that.
But you know what? Let me say this to really narrow in on Jolly's point. This is really important. New Jersey is the land of corporate Democrats. It really, really is.
It is.
And I really feel like it's important that I'm glad Mikey Sherrill won. I'm glad Abigail Spanberger won, but we have to vote out the old guard and put in the new guard. We have to think of what political revolution looks like. what political progress looks like. It's step by step, right, that we get into these spaces. And Mikey Sherrill is a corporate establishment Democrat. Of course, I'm so happy that she won. Of course. But what this shows us is the capacity of our power. Reecie always talks about the margins. We don't always need the majority. It's about getting the margins. What do the margins look like? So I want to make sure the folks who got elected, I'm happy they're there, but I want to make sure they know they're on notice as well. Mikey Sherrill, like Jennifer said, you voted for that Charlie Kirk resolution, right? Her voting record in the House, kind of shaky here or there, but we must hold them accountable. Cory Booker, for example, he has to be held accountable. You won't come on my show. You won't come on my show. I was born in Jersey. Man, here it says 98. Cory won't come on my show. Okay, Cory. But seriously, I think that's really important. So we can't get caught up in the euphoria of the moment. We have to get caught up in the euphoria of the long game. And when we do that, we let them know that that's great that you won. You got double digits numbers. That's good. But you too can go. I want them to be on notice the way that Republicans put their own on notice. They didn't like what Liz Cheney did, voted her ass out. Adam Kinzinger voted his ass, kicked his ass out, right? Some folks just freaking resign. I want us to be on notice in that way, but for the right cause, for folks being safe, not getting snatched up off the street, not losing your health care, not making sure that somebody who's a veteran can still eat. I want to make sure those Democrats are on notice. They should be afraid of us. We shouldn't be afraid of them.
Wow. Why did I forget who you guys may know the author of this quote, or the person who said this quote, but basically it's Helen Keller. She said, "So much has been given me, I have no time to ponder over that which has been denied." So look, I just say to you, Clay, don't worry about somebody who won't do an interview. They'll come around and then you know what I'm saying? You've been given way too much. You've gotten some great interviews. Don't focus on what's been denied. Just keep it pushing and let them be them. You know what I'm saying?
Just text Reecie on the side and we'll talk about it. That's what we do.
That's what
you guys, I appreciate you joining. Anybody have any final words?
I do. I got my.
Go ahead.
No. You know what? I will say this, Jolly. We need to confront the anti-blackness and white supremacy on the progressive side, because just because somebody's for Medicare for all and free buses does not mean that they're for the liberation of Black people, economic advancement of Black people, and full citizenship and participation of Black people. And so I hear a lot of shit talking from the progressive side. I am pragmatic. That's my ideology. If it takes a moderate here to get the job done, cool, whatever. You and me, same. If it takes a progressive over here, cool. I ain't got a problem with it. I don't have the luxury of being a purity test person when my survival, my autonomy is constantly under attack as a Black woman in this country. And so what I plan to continue to do, which I've always been doing, is making sure that these people understand, regardless of what ideology you are within the Democratic Party, that you better put some respect on Black people's names, on our presence in this party, and our authority. And the other thing, Black people will continue to assert ourselves regardless of what the white consultants want to say, and regardless of what the poll testers and the focus groups want to say, because we did see some historic wins from Black women across the country. The mayor of Detroit, for the first time ever, is a Black woman, and we saw the Public Service Commission in Georgia flip from red to blue from a Black woman winning that seat. And so as much as even I guess on 50, but as soon as Trump got in office, he was sitting down with Charlie Kirk and Steve Bannon, and he was, woke is dead and all that other shit. Now he back on our side. As much as people want to flip-flop and use us as expendable parts of the Democratic Party, we're still here. We're going to continue to be here, and we're going to continue to make sure that we are spoken to, because Black issues are economic issues, our healthcare issues, our climate issues, our criminal justice issues, our voting rights and civil rights issues, trans issues, a whole number of issues are also Black issues. And so people cannot just do drive-bys on Black people at the Black church 2 weeks before election, or Black media give us 10 minutes here and there. We're going to continue to be here. So I agree with you. I'm 100% with you on holding people accountable. I saw auditions for VP last night because Abigail, she was long-winded. I said, okay, she's trying to be VP in 2028. Same with Mikey. Everybody was auditioning for 2028. That's cool. We're gonna continue to hold you accountable. You won, cool. You got the job. Now it's time for accountability. But I'm still celebrating because my husband won his election last night. Okay, so congratulations to him. Okay.
Don, can I quickly say, Don, Reecie and I are about to go live at 7 o'clock on my channel at 7 o'clock. So we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep the love going. So Clay Kane Show on YouTube, Reecie and I are going to go live and chat it up and get foolish. So
send me a link. Send me a link.
Love it. Love it.
All right.
My final words here are this. Number one, I agree with Reecie, 8,000%. The anti-blackness in this country is crazy. I mean, we wouldn't even be having this conversation if Kamala Harris was president, right? We also wouldn't be having this conversation if we confronted the white supremacy in this country a long time before now. The moderate white woman who was so unread on the problems in this country that she voted for the Charlie Kirk Day of Remembrance. It didn't win New Jersey because she ran a strong campaign. She won it because she's not fucking Republican. So everybody needs to be put on notice. Like, I think these Democrats really think they ran a good campaign. You didn't. Like, you're still moderate. So anyway, on that note,
and the progressive, because remember I said the progressives got a problem too.
No, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. I call progressives out on this all the fucking time. Listen, I don't care what your political ideology are. If you're white in this country, you're racist. That includes me. So active anti-racism is the only way to avoid that and to get out of that. And not enough people practice active anti-racism because they think it's a light switch. They think one day I'm racist, one day I'm not. No, it's a spectrum. You got to unload the tank. But let me say this. I'm going to say this. I want to give a shout out to you, Don, to you, Reecie, to you, Clay, to Jennifer Welch, who was just here, to independent media across the board, Jim Acosta, everybody, all my influencer buddies on Instagram and TikTok, because part of the reason yesterday happened and part of the reason that there was such a blue tsunami across the country was us, was independent media out here covering the shit that legacy media won't cover, showing the truth and calling out the lies. These legacy media doesn't call out the lies. Legacy media doesn't call out Donald Trump's mental capacity like they did Joe Biden. Legacy media got Van Jones up there just talking out both sides of his mouth. Legacy media is missing the mark, but thank God the independent media is here and we're on the streets. I'm out here in DC right now on the ground, been protesting all day long and posting about it and showing about it. You're talking about real issues. Independent media, if you don't subscribe, now do it now, because we're going to save this fucking country.
Amen. Clay said something similar earlier. I agree. That's why we rely on you liking, subscribing, becoming a member, and being loyal to our channels. That's it. I mean, that's all we ask for. You know what I mean? And you don't get the bullshit about, oh, well, they were nasty and I didn't like the speech. You don't get that. Or Joe Biden's cognitively declined. Let's write a book. You know what I'm saying? You don't get that over.
Agreed.
All right. Thank you, guys. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Do you have your lemon merch? I want to make sure you guys, have you gotten your lemon merch?
I haven't gotten it. Lemon merch, Lemon Nation, Lemon Heads.
All you gotta do is go to.
Hey, look, it's been in the mail for like 6 months. So it probably it probably just got held up at like, I don't know, a port somewhere. I don't know.
Tariffs.
I know Don sent it. It was the tariffs.
It's Lemon Nation tariffs.
Yeah,
China has our merch. China.
It was China.
Bye, guys. Thank you very much. Here is some merch photos. So who is this lovely person that we're about to? What is this? Oh, nice. Oh, wow.
Cat Lucas in Virginia.
Cat Lucas has a lemon up there and a naked picture. I see that. I love it. Is that the old people be known in the cocktail? Oh, wow. A fireball. All right, Cat. Amazing.
One more from Cat.
Nice. Now she does it with fruit punch. A fireball with fruit punch. Okay. Huh. I'm gonna have to try that. So this is a Tahitian treat. Do they still make Hawaiian punch? I think they do, right?
They do.
I'm gonna have to try that. I'm gonna try that one. I usually don't like sweet drinks, but Kat, if you say so, I'll try it. Okay. If you want to know anything about the Don Lemon, thanks for supporting.
One more.
Oh, okay. Who are these? Oh, wait a minute. This was a little dude.
Mm-hmm.
And we said we wanted to be a junior correspondent.
This is Sarah and her son Carter from Virginia. They're wearing their Don Lemon costumes.
I know. Is that their Halloween costumes?
I think so.
The Don Lemon, did you wear it for? It's so cool. I love it. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. We really do want him to be a little correspondent. So come on, Sarah, help us out there. Okay, guys, thank you. If you want to know about the Don Lemon Show, anything about us, go to donlemon.com. You can go to our YouTube channel. You can subscribe. You can join. And also our merch page is right there, too, on the donlemon.com. All of it. So thank you, guys, all for your support. I really appreciate it. And we're going to see you back here. We're going to go check out the streets of New York. And if something's happening, we may just have to bring it to you live. We'll figure it out. But we will definitely be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. because we're here every weekday, 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. And then we'll tell you at the end more stuff that we are dropping. But I want you to be informed without being inundated. And until I see you back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time for the Don Lemon Show on the Don Lemon channel, turn the TV off. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern time with new clips dropping at 2 p. and 8 p. And if you want even more Don Lemon Show content, join the Lemon community. Members get exclusive posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and live chats just for you. So hit the join button or visit our channel page to sign up. Thanks again for all your love and your support, and I'll see you next time.